This video issues a warning to leaders and people in the Indian states of Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Assam, and some other states who Modi and his German and Chinese masters hope to make the new sacrificial goats. Hello, friends, this is Unmasked Truth with Harmanjeet Saini, where I provide unique analysis of world events based on the unmasked truth that after surrender, Germany continued World War II clandestinely and became a killing machine. I also provide true news that you will find nowhere else. In my video of October 7, 2021, titled UP and Bihar Brahmins, we read your signals at the Lakhimpur Kheri violence, I explained the reasons why Sikhs were specifically targeted for murder by the Mishras who live mainly in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Odisha. Farmers in North India had been agitating for repeal of the three farm bills passed by the Indian government in 2020. Modi repealed the bills because elections will soon be taking place in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and Uttarakhand. However, the protests had taken a deadly turn on Sunday, October 3, 2021, while protesting against the visit of Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya to Lakhimpur Kheri district to a function organized by the Union Minister of State for Home Affairs and Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party Member of Parliament Ajay Kumar Mishra. 4 Sikh farmers were killed and several others injured when they were run over by a SUV that was part of the minister's convoy. Angry farmers then attacked the convoy, vandalizing and setting fire to the BJP minister's vehicles, resulting in the deaths of 4 persons. The Sikh farmers killed were Lovepreet Singh, 20 years old, Nakshatar Singh, 60, Daljit Singh, 35, and Gurvinder Singh, 19. The Samyukt Kisan Morcha, that represents the farm union, stated that the SUV was driven by the union minister's son Ashish Mishra. After running over the farmers and the overturning of his SUV, Ashish Mishra ran into sugarcane fields to hide while Gurvinder Singh chased after him. Ashish Mishra fired from his gun at Gurvinder Singh, which killed him. The killing signaled a shift in the allegiance of the Brahmins and other people from these states. People from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's home state of Gujarat and from the states of Rajasthan, Bengal, and the South Indian states of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana have been allied with the Germans for nearly 6 decades. The Germans, with the help of their Indian alliance partners, seek to destroy the Sikhs because they fought against them in both world wars as part of the British Indian Army. A war is being planned for this purpose. Modi's side is doing its best to ally all Indians with them against the Sikhs. Those wishing to become their allies and cement that alliance have to meet the German hurdle qualification of murdering an American of non German descent or Briton or a Sikh. The Mishras killed the 4 Sikh farmers to cement their alliance with Modi's side. I am issuing this fresh warning to leaders and people in the states of Bihar, parts of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and other states who have now decided firmly to join Modi's side and participate in his plans to commit genocide on the Sikhs. In the words of the American political thinker Thomas Paine, these are the times that try men's souls. These words were written during America's War of Independence from the British to stir up patriotism among Americans. The sentiment can also be used to express the situation faced at a time of war between good and evil or in a civil war. India is facing a war primarily between good and evil, inspired by the Germans, who are Satan worshippers. They are on the side of evil. The evidence for that is provided by people who rule at the center and in the states in India, most of who owe their positions to the Germans after they met their hurdle qualification of murdering a white American or Briton of non German descent or a Sikh. Other evidence is provided by Modi and his Indian alliance partners being allied with the Chinese, who are laying claims to territory of other nations and occupying it. This war will also be a civil war in India in which leaders and people of Indian states will have to choose sides, and that decision will really try their souls in how they make their choice. Based on my latest information, it seems that leaders and people in the states of Bihar, parts of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and other states have who have now decided firmly to join Modi's side and participate in his plans to commit genocide on the Sikhs. They have made their decision based on one sided information that has been fed to them by Modi and his allies from the states of Rajasthan, Bengal, and the South Indian states of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and Telangana states, besides his home state of Gujarat, in alliance with the Germans. Let me try and explain the reasons that I think led to your decision. First, some of your leaders have availed of the financial incentives offered by the Germans and murdered an American, Briton, or a Sikh. We are very firm in our commitment to do the right thing and bring these murderers to justice and make them pay for their crime with their lives. Unfortunately, some of the top Sikh leaders have also committed the same crime. We are very consistent in our judgments. They too will be brought to justice by paying with their lives. Since these are some of the most powerful leaders in your states, they have driven the decision to join Modi's side to commit genocide on the Sikhs. As far as we are concerned, these are condemned men. They would want to join the opposing side to those who want to bring them to justice. Therefore, I appeal to other leaders in the states of Bihar, parts of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and other states who have not committed any crime to not throw in your lot with murderers. Decide for yourselves and do the right thing. And don't let the condemned men in your states make the decision for you. Make a righteous decision by shunning the evil side consisting of murderers. But if you decide to join Modi's side, then be prepared to suffer the same consequences as him and all those allied with him, and the Germans and the Chinese. Number two, you have assessed the military situation based on the information provided to you by Modi. South Indians control all the nuclear weapons, the ICBMs, that's the intercontinental ballistic missiles, and other missiles, and means of defense equipment production. Even the military is controlled by Indians allied with Modi. Punjabi Sikhs constitute only 50,000 to 60,000 men in military uniform and have now been thinly spread throughout the military services so that they could be easily killed. Therefore, the Sikh military position seems absolutely hopeless. But now let me give you the other side of the story. You have not counted on the US being a Sikh ally, and an ample demonstration of that alliance has been given recently in assassinating India's top general Bipin Rawat and 13 others by bringing down his helicopter because the Indian military was on the verge of carrying out its plan to murder all Punjabi Sikhs in military uniform. This indicates that no one in India is outside our reach for retaliation, and we will target the highest levels of political, military, and business leadership. A second demonstration of the United States' willingness to act on behalf of the Sikhs was given when top Indian venture capitalist Dr. Narendra Gupta was assassinated in the United States. This shows that there will be a massive global retaliation if the nefarious scheme to murder all Sikhs in military uniform is carried out. Number three, now let me apprise you of the true military situation. Granted that Sikhs' military position in fighting with guns and tanks is hopeless, but that's not ultimately how this war will be fought. We know that fighter jets and bombers are outdated, as demonstrated by the Chinese and Germans taking down Malaysian, Indonesian, Ethiopian, and Ukrainian passenger airliners. The United States also demonstrated the same capability by bringing down General Rawat's helicopter. So the real war ultimately is going to be a nuclear and ICBM war. The largest city in your state, such as Patna, Gaya, Indore, Bhopal, Jabalpur, Gwalior, Jamshedpur, Dhanbad, Ranchi, Raipur, Bhilai, etc., and your state capital cities will be obliterated with nuclear strikes using ICBMs. Any war started with the Sikhs will invite United States retaliation. All you would have got for joining Modi's side is your cities obliterated in nuclear strikes. Modi and his allies have told you that they have nuclear weapons and ICBMs with the technology provided by Germany and China, and they intend to use them against the Sikhs. Now re-evaluate your decision by taking into account the fact that the United States will use its nuclear weapons to defend or retaliate for any attack on the Sikhs and Punjabis. Truly, the decision on which side to join is going to try your souls. Perhaps Modi's side has informed you that if you don't join their side, they will destroy you with nuclear weapons, enslave the rest of your populations, and let China take over your states. We too are letting you know that if you join the German China Modi's India alliance, we too will deal with you like we will deal with them. We will destroy all your political leadership, your military and your business leadership located in your states. We will also destroy at least one third of the best of your population, considering the fact that Modi's plans are to exterminate the Sikhs and hand over the survivors as slaves to the Chinese and Afghanistan and Pakistan Pashtuns to ultimately kill them all. With this information, you do have a decision to make that will try your souls. The Germans and the Chinese have been trying to use other nations to start the Third World War with the United States and British Commonwealth nations and become the sacrificial goats so that they can see how the United States will respond. They have tried to inveigle Iran's Ayatollahs to start the war with the United States. General Soleimani tried it, but the USA disposed him off quickly. North Korea has no technical capability to manufacture nuclear weapons or ICBMs on its own. China has given them that technology to try and inveigle North Korea to start the war and destroy South Korea so that they can walk in and annex the whole of Korea and see how the United States will respond. But that plan has not succeeded so far. They have given the nuclear weapons and ICBM technology to India in an attempt to inveigle Modi and the South Indians to start the war by attacking the Punjabis. Just as the Germans and the Chinese tried to make Modi and the rest of India allied with him the sacrificial goats so that they could learn how the United States will respond, Modi is now trying to make you leaders and people in Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and other states the sacrificial goats by inveigling you to start attacking and killing Sikhs. They will watch from the sidelines to see how we will deal with you and then respond. Don't become fools to be used by Modi because you will pay an extremely heavy price and we will deal with you globally. Before you make your final decision, also consider the righteousness of the Sikh cause. All of us, all over India, were represented in the British Indian Army and fought against the Germans in World War II. But the Germans are the most treacherous people because they are guided by Satan the devil. To seek revenge against Indians, they have divided us one against the other. They targeted the Sikhs because they were more heavily represented in the army. So they looted America and British Commonwealth nations and with that wealth rewarded Indians who would fight to destroy the Sikhs as well as the British and American peoples. Indians have taken the bribes offered by the Germans and have targeted the Sikhs beginning immediately after independence. Consider the additional fact. No Indian can find a single accusation of harm the Sikhs have ever done collectively to anyone, leave alone other Indians. But we can find enough people who have done Sikhs a great deal of harm in their history. We have been targeted unfairly by other Indians throughout our history. Still, till now, we have not retaliated against anyone. Consider the experience during the early period in the COVID 19 pandemic. People from Bihar, UP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and other states were shabbily treated by the South Indians, Gujaratis, Rajputs, and Marwadis. The only people who came to the aid of your people were Sikhs. Modi and his allies even acted to deliberately let millions of your people die by not arranging oxygen and medical supplies. Do you think Ambani, Adani, the Tatas, Birlas, Modis, and South Indians could not have arranged oxygen within a very short notice? But they did not lift a finger to help your people in distress. In fact, they made it as difficult as possible to get to it for your people to get to their villages and homes quickly. It was a deliberate scheme by Modi and his alliance partners to let millions of your people die in the pandemic. So, do you think you're doing the right thing by joining the side that has done as much harm as it could to you against the only people who did whatever they could to help you and save as many lives as they could? Against people who have collectively never done any wrong to any Indians. In addition, with their sacrifices, they have helped Hinduism survive, at least in North India. Militarily, the odds may seem to be against us, but we do rely on the United States to help us, and that evens the odds. Ultimately, Sikhs have always put their faith in the eternal God and given him credit for their victories. That is reflected in our two war cries or slogans. The first war cry is Bole So Nihal, Sat Sri Akal, which means one who acknowledges the eternal God as the ultimate truth will be blessed. The other statement made in our prayers is Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, which means the Khalsa or the Sikhs are of God and to God belongs the victory. Therefore, no matter who our adversary is, we will take up arms and fight with all we have and leave the outcome in God's hands. As I have explained, our cause is righteous, but you have become our enemies without any reason. But leaders and people of Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, parts of UP, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and other states that join Modi's group, we warn you. This time we will fight and treat you as an enemy and deal with you as we intend to deal with Modi and his alliance partners. Your people will be targeted globally, as all Indians allied with Modi will be targeted globally for destruction, as we have demonstrated with the killing of Dr. Narendra Gupta. I hope you will choose wisely. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please continue to watch my videos and read my articles on important world events, World War III watch, politics, international business, advice on health and medical problems, and much more for in-depth and insightful analysis. Please also subscribe to my YouTube and Facebook channels, Unmasked Truth with Harmanjeet Saini, to view and get information on the latest videos. Some people do not have the time to go through the full length of videos. They find it more convenient to read the text of the video. Unfortunately, YouTube does not provide the capability to make the text of my videos available on YouTube. But fortunately, Facebook does provide that capability. So I make the text of my videos available on my Facebook channel, which you can easily copy.